What's up, metalheads and horror hounds everywhere? That's right. It is October. Hopefully you're checking out my other podcast, Eddie's 31 Days of Halloween. Check it out. You might like some of the content. Who knows? You know what I'm saying? But here on Pedal TV, probably going to be doing a little bit of mixing with the horror and the metal genres and the rock genres here for the month of October. So for the very first Eddie's Top 5, we've got the top 5 horror soundtracks of all time. And I want to put a little disclaimer there, okay? Because there's a lot of soundtracks that featured maybe one song, like one great song, and then everything else was, you know, either the score or something completely irrelevant to what you want to listen to. So for those, we're going to save that for another time, okay? Where we'll do the top 5 tracks from horror movies of all time. So stay tuned for that here on the channel. And with that being said, don't forget to subscribe right here, Pedal TV. Do it. We appreciate every single one of you. That's for sure. All right, so let's kick it off, right? We're doing the top 5 horror movie soundtracks of all time, and more rock and metal related, to say the least. So the best rock and metal soundtracks in horror is what it should be. But anyways, we're going to do the honorable mention, and a couple of the honorable mentions I'm going to throw out there. Strangeland, which was the Dee Snider written and I believe directed film, if memory serves me correct. I believe that's what it was. So Strangeland is in there, and then I'm going to throw in Nightmare on Elm Street Part 3, Dream Warriors is another soundtrack that I'll throw on there, and then Friday the 13th Part 7. I'll throw that in there as honorable mentions as well. But right now, here it is, top 5. Coming in at number 5, we've got Trick or Treat. That's right, the 1986 film where the soundtrack is more celebrated usually than what the film was, but now the film is gaining notoriety and cult classic status. But anyways, it was a soundtrack completely done from beginning to end by the band Fastway, which featured Fast Eddie Gilbert, who you may remember from Motorhead. At one point, he left and started his own band. So there you go. And it's a great soundtrack. Definitely check this out. Coming in at number 4, we got Dracula 2000. There was a time period between 1998 and about 2003 where the soundtracks for horror films were fucking incredible. And this one was no different. It featured tracks from bands like Slayer, Pantera, Monster Magnet, Linkin Park, Saliva, System of a Down, I believe, is also on this one. And this is a cover of the song Metro, which was pretty freaking cool. Great film, in my opinion. Great soundtrack to go with it as well. Coming in at number 3, is Demon Knight, right? The Tales from the Crypt movie. I always thought this was such a cool soundtrack. It featured, in my opinion, obviously not the greatest version. The original version of Cemetery Gates is fantastic in of itself, but this was pretty awesome as well. This soundtrack version of Cemetery Gates by Pantera. It also features tracks by Ministry, Machine Head, Megadeth, Biohazard, and Sepultura to boot. Make sure you check that one out. Coming in at number 2, I thought from that time period, from 98 to 2003, I thought this was the best collection of bands that were put on soundtrack, because you had a little bit of the next generation, like Killswitch Engage. You had Mushroom Head, who was finally starting to gain some traction on the scene. You had previous bands from the new metal scene, like El Nino and Spine Shank, so on and so forth. I believe Slipknot's got a track on this as well. It, to me, was another one that I'm like, I love the soundtrack. Film was okay, but I love the soundtrack. This is one of my faves. I love Spine Shank, and I'm glad they're back together. So make sure you check this one out as well. And then at number 1, do we even have to ask? It's The Crow. This is by far probably one of the greatest collections of bands and everything. And not to mention This is the third soundtrack on this list that features Pantera. Just throwing that out there. Pantera seemed to be a part of everything great at that time. But this features incredible songs. The Joy Division cover of Dead Souls by Nine Inch Nails. You've got Big Empty by SDP is on here. Pantera covering The Badge. You had, I believe, Rage Against the Machine is on this. It just is such an eclectic mix. It just worked. The film was fantastic. Still has never been duplicated. They've tried to duplicate it, but they've never been successful. And they neither have with their sound. Well, I can't say that. A lot of the soundtracks have been great, but this one's definitely the best right here. So check out all these soundtracks. They're all great. I wish horror movies did more of this again, where you had great soundtracks to go with the films. But who am I to say anything? So there you go. There's my list. As always, make sure you tune here to Pedal TV. Subscribe to the channel. We try to create as much content as we possibly can for all of you, and hopefully you're enjoying it. We appreciate every single one of you. Stay metal.